Access management is always a big part of the architecture process for a PLM system. There are two main topics for access management. The first one is how do you resolve the access for a user to a node. So one specific thing for Ganister is that everything is in the graph. So even if you don't have Ganister, but you have a backup of your graph database, you could resolve all the accesses for anyone in the database and to know what they have access to, which is a great way to audit all these accesses. So the way you can see it in the system is if you click here, you have the user access display. You can see here, I have another one here. It tells you how you have access to your node. So here, I'm the demo user, I'm part of a group administrator, and group administrator has an access to permission set path, which gives some accesses. I could add myself a direct access, and you would see that the access audit would be resolved differently because I have the highest access that I have is a manager role, and I have a direct access. So this is the smallest pass with the highest access. So this is one part, managing this. You can add users, groups, teams to these nodes. You can automate the way it's added depending on if a node is part of a project, for example. But so this is once you have organized all your teams, etc. So the other part is what is the UX or the UI that you will provide to the admin of the system to actually configure all these rules and all these rights and groups, etc. So you go to the app config, groups and users, and this is a UI that we worked a lot after we had some feedback from some of our customers. We used to have like 3 main panels with permission sets, groups, and users, and it felt simple for us, but it wasn't really easy to read. So for our customers, so the way we worked it, so we still have users, we have groups, but now we have a graph access view, which gives a better idea of what's happening in this application in your configuration. And when you select a group, then you have a direct visualization of who is allowed to do what in the system. So if we look at these here, engineers, you can see that engineers have almost no permission. And the way it works is if you're part of the engineers group, you will benefit from any rights that they have. Same thing here. So whether you're a group or a user, you will benefit from these other rights. So assistants here has almost no right. Let's say that they can create contacts and they have wider access level. So once you have this, you will see that Micro Chris, who is part of assistants, now benefits from the same permission. So it resolves for each user. You can really tell what permission they have. The other interesting thing is if you look at the engineers group and you say, okay, every engineer should be able to create a path and be a writer on this path. Then you will see that, so as mentioned earlier, this import user has this access, but also the assistants, because this group is part of engineers, and you would see that this group now has this right, and you cannot deny or revoke this right. It's always adding permission. So if I'm trying to go to reduce this access, I can't do it because this is assistance group is a member of engineers, so they benefit from this. So it's a nice way to visualize all your groups we will offer maybe more ways to filter this view, because the more groups you have, maybe the more complicated it becomes to really focus on the few things. And with a lot of users, you may have many or quite complex graph. So we'll add some filtering features in the future, but it was just to give you an idea of how it is managed. You can create new groups, you can create new users and invite them to join the platform. And in another video, we'll display how we manage teams, which is another way to have more contextual access rules for nodes.